Hello, hey everyone. Wow, so I just thought I'd get on and do a little bit of a live stream. I know there's a little bit of a glare on my camera, but it's okay. If you are just joining us, thank you for being here. I am working on a pattern that I purchased in 2023 from the super talented Stephen West. I bought this pattern on Ravelry. It's his basket weaver hat, and it's going to have two layers. So this is going to be the outside layer of the hat, and it has this cool basket weaver texture. And on the inside, it's just going to be like this variegated skein of yarn, and I think it's just going to be stockinette stitch. So as cool as the basket weaver texture is, I'm really looking forward to just getting to do a bit of stockinette. Yeah, first I have to get there though. So I thought that I'd maybe go live and we could just share a little moment together as I work on this. I'd love to know what y'all are working on. If you guys have any interesting projects, or if not projects, interesting hobbies going on, or just anything interesting going on in your lives. Yep. Yes. We live in kind of a small town, and they put up the lights and everything for Christmas. So that's been kind of fun. You know, there's a lot of drawbacks to living here, like not having a dedicated yarn store. We do have a Hobby Lobby, but you know, last time I posted about going to Hobby Lobby, someone was in the comments like, oh, I don't go here because I don't agree with their values. I was just like, well, it's either this or Walmart for me. So for a while, I didn't go to Hobby Lobby too after moving here. I came here from outside of Atlanta, and also in 2023. And yeah, I mean, but the thing is, in Georgia, I still used to go to Hobby Lobby, like, because there was one outside of the neighborhood where we were staying at. So if I'd go, I would like resell clothes while I was staying there to have some gas money to get to work. Like, you know, if you're in that like full hustle mode, like you'll take what like little bits of joy you can get. So it really wasn't until I came over here that I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to Hobby Lobby. Also, to be honest, it might have been that more information came out at that time, but I don't know. I feel like I still probably went at least a couple times before I decided not to go after hearing some more info. After hearing that, I know there was apparently there was like a fake AI photo going around too, and I think the first thing I saw was somebody like putting around the fake photo. And it was maybe a little while after that I started hearing like, okay, this is why people don't like going to Hobby Lobby, which are all like, I totally empathize with those reasons. Yeah, if you are interested in hearing more about this subject, I would recommend there's a craft drama video from, I think it is Aspen in the Moment, and it's really good. They have two channels. There's one, I think they still have their other channel called Made in the Moment, and then they also have their craft drama channel called Aspen in the Moment. So if it could be on either one of those, I think it's the second one though. But there's a really good video that they did breaking down the issues with Hobby Lobby. And again, I do feel for all those reasons. It's just, if I'm gonna purchase yarn, I'm probably gonna have to purchase it from someplace that has like less, I mean, in the case of Walmart, less than ethical practices. In the case of just ordering from Premier, it's going to have to be shipped to me, right? And then I don't get the experience of like looking at it in the store and picking something. I don't know. I know a lot of people, like, I kind of miss Joann's, but like I just miss knowing that Joann's was there. Because we had a Little Rock, I'm in Arkansas, so we had a Little Rock Joann's, but I think I only made it over there like one time. So Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm thankful I'm on like an easy part of this pattern right now. Oops, don't want to be holding my contrast color. I was accidentally holding this string as well. Let me just like ball this up and get it out of the way. It's a really beautiful color though. This is from Lola Bean Yarn Company and it's one that I ordered in 2022. Probably with the last relief check that I got. Yep, I'm like patting it. I'm like... And this one, the one that I'm using, for the basket weaver stitch is one that I dyed in my apartment when we were living outside of Atlanta in 2023. Because at this point, the COVID money was not around anymore. So I realized, thankfully, through a guest that Natalie of Nitty Natty had on for her membership one day, like I realized that I might be able to hand dye a few skeins of yarn in my apartment. And I looked up some information online. I ordered some undyed yarn. And thankfully I was able to dye like this beautiful skein with some blackberries. I think this yellow here, I can't remember if this yellow is one that I dyed with turmeric. I think it might be because I don't remember purchasing another yellow. And also, sorry, on here, the brown is some yarn that I dyed with coffee. So if you're trying to dye yarn at home, I definitely recommend like a mask and like gloves. And at the time I was not using those. So I'm like, it's probably good that my foray into yarn dyeing wasn't like more of a like a business scale enterprise, because I don't know what the health effects of that would be. So yeah, definitely use like the protective equipment that is recommended. Definitely do your research, but I was able to dye some skeins of yarn, maybe like 7 skeins of fingering weight yarn back then, and I've had it and been able to use it ever since. Oh, and zip ties too. So if you're gonna dye yarn at home, definitely like, yeah, definitely look this up before you do it, but there's a way to use zip ties to like put through the yarn to make sure that it doesn't come unraveled like as you're dyeing it. And that was something that I didn't do but should have done when I was dyeing the coffee skeins of yarn, and so I ended up with a bunch of like little tiny micro skeins. But I mean, that's okay, like, because this sweater I used a bunch of different scraps and a bunch of different colors, and I also used two yarns at once. And there's a tutorial on my tutorial playlist where I'm like showing you guys that. My voice is a little high at the beginning though. I rewatched it today because I was like, I really need to add this short that I made last year to my tutorial playlist so that people can find it if they want like tutorials about how to do things. And I listened to my voice at the beginning. I was like, oh my goodness, my voice is so high. I'm like, hi everyone. I was like, oh my goodness. It's okay though. It's okay. Oh my goodness. And then I was thinking, like, I had a dream last night about substitute teaching kind of, and I was like, I wonder if I ever did a weird voice like around the kids, and that's why in some cases they like didn't respect me. To be fair, it is tough to earn respect as a substitute teacher. It's tough, okay? And especially like if it's like the end of the year, it can be really like the kids are like ready to go and they're like, who is this in my classroom? I do think that we should have substitute teachers. I'm seeing that like, I feel like the major school, like, I don't know, I don't want to like say anything and not that, but like, I feel like people are I don't know, like questioning the validity or the importance of having subs, because essentially a class could be dispersed into other teachers' classrooms, and maybe these are teachers that the students already have a relationship with. But I don't know, like I think that's harder on the teachers that work at the school though, right? And maybe there needs to be, yeah, I don't know. Just my 2 cents. I could see there being more structure around what happens like district-wide when there's a sub, and maybe it's more of the same kind of thing that happens every time, rather than the subs having to adjust to a new set of rules every time we go to a different school. I think stuff like that would help, but again, just my 2 cents, just putting it out there. Oh, dang. So another thing I wanted to talk about was, it being like a year since I made the sweater, and it's a little bit of a strange, like, year to mark, or a strange, like, starting and stopping point. If we're talking about, like, I cast on this sweater, I think, the day after Thanksgiving last year. And then I washed it on Thanksgiving, and I left like this and a lot of my other knit garments and some socks to dry. And I posted about that. It's really not that big a deal. You can obviously wash your knits as often as you'd like, but for some reason I just hadn't gotten around to it. And I just remember, like, when I started this series of knitting my sweater, I kind of went from having, like, more views to when I was talking about crochet, and especially when I was doing the crochet markets and trying those out for the first times. And then when I posted about, like, knitting the sweater, my views went down to, like, 20 views a video, and it was really disheartening. And then, like, going into 2025, I did some more, like, vlog style videos, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna post, like, the content that I like. I did start talking about crochet more. I finished this in, like, January, and I started posting more about crochet and amigurumi and just, like, simple little things to help, like, boost the mood, because amigurumi can be quite like a mood booster. Like, there's not a lot of patience required. You get, like, a big, in my view, it's a nice payoff to see that you've made this cute little thing. So I was just posting about that. Some of those did okay. Like, I think the one where I was making a bunch of Jellycat inspired designs did fine, even though I remember that vlog being kind of like, I don't know, like, just me holding my phone and talking and stuff for like kind of clipped up to make like a 5-minute video. But, like, that one did better than a lot of the other ones that I was a little more thoughtful with. So I guess it's disheartening to see, like, what does well on the algorithm. Not that I don't stand by that vlog, it just wasn't one that I put a ton of thought into, is all I'm saying. And then, what else blew up? For me, blowing up is having, like, 729 views. But when I was able to travel and go to different yarn stores, it was actually really sad. We had a family friend that passed away, and I didn't say this in the video, but I was on my way to say goodbye to that person, and on my way back, and I just happened to pass by a yarn store. And so instead of that was kind of like my break, and it was a long drive, but yeah, so in that video where I'm, like, yarn shopping, you'll see I have, like, a black dress on underneath a hoodie, like, and honestly, like, it kind of feels like a gift from them that video did so well. On the other hand, it's also a trend that I was seeing that summer whenever I did post about going to different yarn stores. And again, this one that did the best was like 17 minutes. And I think it's because I was kind of lost. Like I was getting lost in the yarn. I had just gone to this event to say goodbye, and I was driving like hours, you know, a long time to get back home. So I hopped out, I looked at some yarn, and I just got lost in the sauce for like 17 minutes. So most of my videos, which, like, not to put a moral judgment or anything like that, I don't want to really stay there too much, but that was the one that did the best. Most of my yarn shopping videos are a little bit shorter than that because I just usually don't hang out there for that long. And if I am, I'm not all of it makes it into the video, right? So to have a 17-minute video, like when I got back out to the car, I was shocked at how long I had been in there. It was probably like an hour. And yeah, I mean, do you really want to do that in your local yarn store? Or do you want to do that where you know you can get in your car and drive back home and never have to go to that store again? Anyways, yeah, I still though, some of the shorter vids of me in the yarn stores did better than the vlogs that I was doing. They even did better than some of the markets that I was going to over the summer, which had really been like my best performing category of video the year before. And I mean, it might have been that I was more enthusiastic about it the year before because it was like the first markets that I was doing. But it's just a little like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say it's discouraging. I understand why people like the yarn shopping content, and also whether you knit or crochet, like we both use yarn, so I could see how that's able to reach like a broader array of crafters or just people that are interested in seeing like what's going on at the yarn stores. Like I think those videos get a lot of views outside of the US. So yeah, I mean, I can see how those videos are helpful. It's just, yeah, I get it. Sorry. I see how those videos are helpful. I see why people like them. Is it something that I'm going to be able to like always make? Probably not. Like, yeah, so you guys are really getting a behind the scenes because I know I didn't really mention that like in the video. I didn't really mention like any of these things in the videos or like on my channel around that time. But like another thing I wanted to mention was that in general, I feel like this year's been hard for like content creators on social media. And I think it's because the way that people are interacting with social media has changed. So like before probably, I think COVID was like peak crafter, like social media. And I was starting my crafts and hobbies then. I wasn't really in this space yet. But I feel like since then, like definitely in the past year, the content that's being posted on social media has become a lot more like polarizing. And I mean, we heard, I think it was about a year ago from the Zuck that he was planning on showing political content again after kind of stifling that content for a little bit. And in his statement, he basically said, well, we heard from people that you don't want to see this type of content anymore. And now we're hearing from people that you do. So that was kind of my takeaway from his comments, at least at that time. But I think that I can definitely see how in the past year, the content's been a lot more politicized, especially on Instagram. Instagram, I think, has been like the big, like, honestly, I deleted my Instagram last week just because my phone, like there was a bug with like the Apple update or something, and I had to like delete apps to get storage on it for a little bit. And thankfully we were able to work through the bug, but now that I can download, like, so I wasn't, basically after I deleted Instagram, I thought I'd be able to re-download it, but I wasn't. And anyways, my mental health has improved. So I don't honestly, I don't really know what's the point of re-downloading it. I do like to be able to express myself on that space, but the thing is, the type of content that I'm getting served has definitely changed over the past year, and people aren't seeing my content as much. My amigurumi post on Instagram last year would get like 50 likes, which I'm sure isn't all that much, but now my content that, you know, I'm showing my crochet that I'm working so hard on, like my big projects, it's getting like 10 or 12 likes at the most. You know, and I've heard other people basically complain, you know, about the same thing. Again, for lack of a better word, we'll use the word complain. I'm not trying to characterize their expressions of what's happening as complaining, but anyways, moving on, you get what I'm saying. I've heard people state that their likes are going down as well, that, you know, maybe it's just not, and it's not that you're doing it for the likes, it's that, like, you're aware that your content isn't getting pushed to your audience in the same way, right? Yeah, it's not like, oh, this got 50 likes, woohoo, I'm recharged to keep posting. Like, it's like, I want to know that my work is being appreciated, and like, likes are kind of a shortcut to see if like what you're putting out there is being valued by the community. And yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned in another vlog earlier this month, like before I deleted Instagram, I made the resolution to not be on it so much in that vlog, because I was like, the longer you stay on Instagram, like the more my algorithm is completely going south. It's like you stay on it a little bit too long and it'll start showing you all this stuff. Like, and it'll get you with like a really pretty picture of something, and then you click on that and then you scroll and the next thing is like this crazy, crazy for lack of a better word, this emotionally charged, or this thing that elicits a lot of emotions. But I've heard that that is actually because the way that these social media algorithms addict you is by not by showing you A+ content every time, but showing you A+ content and like 0 tier content, like negative content, right? And it hooks you the same way that gambling does, because you never know what you're gonna get. That might be enough reason right there not to put this app back on my phone. Honestly, I don't think it was like, I don't know, you know, it was fine for a little bit for me to be on Insta, but I don't think it's a good place. Like, I shouldn't say it's not a good place anymore, like, because I know that other people are using it and probably having, you know, a good experience, or using it for like their community or whatever they do, but I would just rather, like, I can't even say I'd rather Instagram be a better place for everyone. Like, I really would. That's what I'd like. So I'm not gonna like delete my account, but I'm also not wanting to re-download it on my phone. And with Instagram, if it's not downloaded on your phone, you can't post. So yep, you might not see posts from me for a while. YouTube is like where it's at, honestly, because I can get on the home screen and just find like videos related to like the content that I like. And if for some reason it's not showing me what I want to see, I can go to the top and click like knitting, or click like crochet, or like probably language learning, because I've been watching a lot of videos in French with Crochet avec Nelly, and that's been really nice. Like, I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep, and I just watched Crochet avec Nelly until I was ready to go to sleep, and that's nice. That's way better than scrolling on Instagram during that time, or during a situation like that, for my mental health at least. So yep. I also started, you guys, if you go back and look at my recent uploads, one of my videos, it has like 14 views, like not that many views. It's fine. I made it because I wanted to make it. It's called, like, I asked ChatGPT the best way to learn a language in 2025, and I did. Like, So it's kind of about that experience. But after I uploaded that video, I decided that in addition to maintaining or improving my French, because I do want to get to like a better level, but I do have like a B2 in French, so it's kind of like a lot of the language learning stuff, especially like the apps and things, like, or like the memorized decks, like those can be for somebody like the 1,000 most common words in French, like that's that's a lot of stuff that is probably already in my vocabulary, so it's kind of boring like going through and being like in means in and pour means for and like all of this stuff. But I decided around that time that I wanted to start learning Dutch, and that has been a really fun experience. Actually, at first, it was a little bit more fun. Like, before I knew how to pronounce a lot of the Dutch words, it was more fun because it basically, especially if you're just reading it and not pronouncing it correctly, it kind of can look like silly English. Because so much of the vocabulary is so familiar, and then there's like little aspects of it too that just seem kind of silly. Like in French, a lot of the vocabulary is very similar with English too, but it doesn't also have like this like work is work like it doesn't have these silly yeah. You've got to look it up to see what I mean, but apparently the internet finds out about this every now and again, and there'll be like memes going around just kind of talking about how Dutch sounds silly. So I started making a memorized list of Dutch words and how to say things in Dutch, and then I just decided to start learning Dutch. Well, maybe I decided it before that, I don't know. I was kind of sold when I found out that I drink water is literally like, ik drink water. And I'm saying it a little like an AI, I know, because I've been doing it on Duolingo. Where I drink coffee is, ik drink coffee. So it's a lot of the words are pretty similar, that's nice. But then, like, I'll mess with my family and tell them, like, what do you think milk is? I'll be like, it's milk. And what do you think tea is? Like, and I'll be like, it's, yeah, I don't want to say it because I'm worried that I'll mispronounce it. I think it's like te, but a lot of the words are pretty similar. Cat is also kind of, it's spelled like cat, but with a K. Crab is spelled like crab, but with a K, right? And then I'll be like to my family, want to know what orange juice is? And we'll be like, sure. Sinaasappel shop. So that's fun. It's been fun. I've been doing Dutch. And also, what I've been listening to, I started listening to like some easy Dutch YouTube channels yesterday. But before that, I was watching this show called Jolanta on Netflix. It's Yolanthe. And she's like an actress, like a Dutch actress. And she's basically, it's kind of like a reality show where she's just like sharing her life. But it's a little more wholesome. Like, I shouldn't say that. Not everything in it is super wholesome. There's parts where I've been like, okay, I want to skip through this conversation that they're having. But it's nice. It's not a bad show. And her Dutch is very beautiful, and like, now instead of reading the Dutch, like when I read the Dutch, sometimes I hear it in her voice instead of just how I think that it would sound. So that's been helpful. It's helpful in that way to listen to different languages that you're learning, even if you can't understand a lot of it yet, because you start to learn how the language is supposed to sound. So yeah, I started learning it because when I read it online, I thought it looked kind of silly, but actually I'm finding out that Dutch is quite a beautiful language. And you know who is in the Netherlands right now, in Amsterdam, or I don't know where he is right now, I don't want to be weird like that, but You know who is based in Amsterdam is the great Stephen West, who this pattern is from. So I don't know, like maybe this is kind of clandestine. Like maybe this is a thing where I'm learning Dutch and one day I'll get to go and visit the Stephen and Penelope yarn shop in Amsterdam. I think that would be really cool. I have all these ideas of like where I want to travel and stuff, and you know, God willing, like hopefully one day it will all work out. So since my French is a little bit stronger, I was thinking like if we went to France, then we could basically, it would be easy to then go to the Netherlands, right? Or easier than going to the Netherlands from the United States. Yep. And then when we go to Spain, I will just have my family members that speak Spanish to help us around there, because honestly, I can speak Spanish, like I can understand a lot, but yeah, my issue with Spanish is that I get it confused with French. So that can be really hard and really frustrating. And right now I'm not working on Spanish because I don't want to get it mixed up. So right now the only languages that I'm actively working on are French and Dutch. I know I do feel kind of bad because I have family members that speak Spanish, and Spanish is probably the most commonly spoken language other than English where I live. So I do feel kind of bad, like not actively working on Spanish more. But yeah, I mean, when I try to speak Spanish, I can like, I'll add like the French, is it prepositions, like words like and the and stuff, like I can, yeah. But yeah, it's okay. My husband speaks Spanish probably a little better than I do, or he probably has a better grasp of it than I do at this point. And my daughter is also learning Spanish. So if we went to France, then we could go to Spain, and we could also go, and then we could go back through France, through the north of France, and skip over one country and then go to the Netherlands, where I could help everybody by speaking Dutch. Maybe, I don't know. I think a lot of people speak English there too. I would want to try to speak Dutch though. Like if I was in the Netherlands after learning all this Dutch, or like working on it for so long, that's my thought anyways. I don't know, maybe you get into these situations and it's like kind of hard to like pull it out. Like I don't know, I've never actually tried to like speak Dutch with a Dutch person. I guess I need to get on like italki or like one of those websites where you can talk to people in their native language. Yep. That sounds really cool. And then the videos that I was watching on the Easy Dutch channel yesterday, I also found really interesting, where basically the host of this channel, I think he also started it in COVID, because the videos that I was watching were taking place during COVID, and he was like, here's the Anne Frank house, you know, and here's this coffee shop, and here's this tower, and every single place that he showed us was closed because of COVID, or it was undergoing renovations at that time. It's like maybe just because everything was closed, they decided to go ahead and renovate. Anyways, I think it would be super cool to go to the Netherlands and maybe try to visit the yarn store that's owned by Stephen West. Iceland would also be cool too. I was watching some of Stephen West's more recent videos, and in one of the videos that I watched, he introduced his hybrid knit along for this year, and I really love the shawl pattern. I'd love to buy like the rainbow kit and buy the pattern and do it. I would love to do that. I have other things that I need to focus on right now, obviously, but it's called Ice Landscape, and I thought that was also a really nice like use of those words, like a combination of those words. He's always been very creative with like the naming of his patterns though, so I am not surprised. It's a beautiful shawl. As always, Stephen and Penelope has beautiful colorways and kits that they've selected for this shawl. And yeah, I would love to just be like cozied up this winter with like a nice project, and I would say with like Lupin, but honestly I'm probably gonna be like watching like so intently when the new season of Lupin drops that I'm not gonna be able to like focus too much on my knitting. Yeah, that's a good show. It's in French, so I'm debating whether I want to like watch it in French or with French subtitles one time and then watch it in English or vice versa. Yes. All right. Well, thanks for joining me this morning. I think I might hang up here. But maybe we'll do this again sometime soon. This was nice. And yeah, I hope that wherever you are, y'all are staying happy, safe, and healthy. Keep knitting or crocheting or doing whatever inspires you. And take care of yourself. You know, eat the healthy foods. Exercise. Go for a walk if you're able. Get up, move around. Take a screen break if you need to, because we are being shown more polarizing content, especially on other social media apps. So try to make social media work for you if you can. I guess that's the message of this video. Yeah. And also, I mean, selfishly, I talked a lot about my experience in like the YouTubes and on the Instagrams and the online crafting communities over the past year. But if you are a follower, thank you so much. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Yeah, I'm not like monetized or anything. I'm just making these videos just cause. And if you appreciate them, like, thank you so much. And it has been 37 minutes. 37 is a lucky number for me. So we're going to hang it up for here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.